Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be all about my favorite drugstore brushes and kind of tools, I guess, makeup tools. So I pretty much only use drugstore brushes and tools just because they're the easiest to find, they're inexpensive, and I think there are some really great ones out there, so that's what I prefer to use. So yeah, if you want to see what my favorite brushes are, then just keep watching. So I'm going to start with my biggest kind of face brushes and work my way down to the smallest ones. So I'm going to kind of be jumping around brand-wise, but these are kind of the order that I use them, so that's why I'm doing it this way. So the first one is from e.l.f., and this is the e.l.f. massaging brush in the number 102. I don't know all the names, so I'm going to have to be looking at them. I don't have them all memorized. I'm sorry, but I love this brush because at first I thought it was going to be kind of hard to grip because, as you can see, it doesn't have like a long end to it, kind of like that. But it really is kind of shaped to your hand, so you can just kind of grab onto it like this. And as you can see, it's not all one length, the bristles. So I kind of like spin it as I'm doing my foundation, so it really does kind of massage it, and it feels good too. I like it, and it's easy to grip, and I think it's a beautiful brush. I mean, it's just gorgeous, and this was like $6 because it's e.l.f., and I love this brush. Next is the e.l.f. contour brush. Looks like this. What I like to use this for is kind of cleaning up my contour. I don't use it to actually contour. I use a different brush, which I will get into. But I will take this with some translucent powder and just kind of, if I'm going for like a really sharp contoured look, this is what I'll use to kind of clean it up in like my jawline area. So this is like, it's pretty dense, which is good because you can really pack on the powder. But it is a little too dense for me for actually contouring because I feel like I just get like a line of bronzer and then I'm like constantly trying to rub it in, but this works really well for like stamping translucent powder. For actually contouring and bronzing, I use this Wet n Wild, I'm pretty sure it's just called like angled brush. So it has that kind of angle that's perfect for getting in the hollows of your cheeks. So I use this every single day I don't really contour every single day, so I mostly use this for bronzing. But these are just so soft, and I think they're beautiful brushes, and I was surprised because Wet n Wild, I mean, these were probably even cheaper than e.l.f. brushes. I think this was like $3 on the Wet n Wild website, so really nice brush. The brush that I use for blush is also from Wet n Wild. This is just the Wet n Wild powder brush, and I did just clean all these brushes this morning, so they're a little bit wet. They're not completely as fluffy as they usually are when they're dry. But this is the brush that I use for blush every day, and it's pretty flimsy. It's not like stiff. So I like it because I can really blend my blush. Sometimes I put on too much and then I can really get in with this and kind of blend it all out. So I use this brush for blush. Next is probably my all-time favorite brush. I think I could use this brush for so many things. It has so many good uses out of it. And this is the e.l.f. small tapered brush, and actually I forgot to clean this one. And what I've been using this for lately is for highlighting. So it's just kind of nice because it tapers off there, so you can really get in there with highlight. But I've also used this for contouring, for blush, for setting powder under my eyes. It's such a versatile brush, and I don't think that there is anything that you could not use this brush for. It's just the perfect size, the perfect shape. It's nice and soft. It's just, I love it. Next is the e.l.f. powder brush, and this one I use for powder foundation, which I don't do very often now, but I actually used to like last year. That was what I pretty much wore every day because it was just easier than putting on liquid foundation. But this is it's pretty stiff and it's wide, so you can just kind of swirl this in your powder foundation and just quickly apply it all over the face by like stamping it or rubbing it in. And I used to use this for liquid foundation, but I just found that it's so soft. I don't know if it's that or what it is, but it would just eat up so much of the liquid foundation, so I didn't really like it for that, but I really do like it for powder foundation. Next is another all-time favorite, and this is the Real Techniques sponge, the little orange one. I've gone through many of these, and actually I just went shopping yesterday, so this is a brand new one. I only used it today to put on my foundation and concealer, and I got a pack of 2 because I go through these so quickly. I think the shape is perfect for like all over my face. There's like a bigger side, then for under my eyes you can really get in there with this angled part. I think it's perfect for that. For even using it in powder, I'll just dip it in on the point and do under my eyes and around my nose. It has such an interesting shape that you can use it for so many different things. And it's nice and soft. This one's kind of damp, so it is bigger. When you first get it, it is a little smaller, but I just love it. It's very soft. I have to say, though, my last one, I had to get a new one because my last one got moldy, which is probably because it's wet most of the time because I use it every single day, so it never really gets a chance to dry, but that was a little gross, not gonna lie. But I repurchased the same sponge. I've used other sponges before, and I just keep going back and getting this one because I love the shape. I can use it for my concealer, for my foundation, for my powder, and it gets in all the little nooks and crannies. So now I'm moving on to smaller eye brushes, and the first brush I have been using for years, and this is actually from Eco Tools, which you can get at like Walmart, Target. It's a drugstore brand called Eco Tools, so it usually comes in like a pack, which is how I got this brush, but this is my favorite one. So this is a large fluffy brush, and I use this every single time I go in with a transition color. So like the first color that I use on my eye, like a lighter shade, if I'm going to build up my crease color, this is the brush that I'll go in with first, and I'll use this later on to just really get in there and blend it out because it's so fluffy, and it does kind of come to a tapered point there, you can see. You can kind of see maybe. It does come to a tapered point, but it is so fluffy, and it blends everything out so nicely. And I have sensitive, I guess everybody has sensitive eyelids, so this is nice and soft and doesn't irritate my eyes. What is the opposite of synthetic? What is the opposite of synthetic? Like actual hair? So the next brush is a similar fluffy brush. This is the Morphe M518, which is a natural haired brush as opposed to a synthetic, which can be any color. These are always white, which is how you can tell that they are natural haired. And this I use in my crease as well. I mean, they're pretty similar brushes. They literally look exactly the same. I don't know if you can tell. They really do look exactly the same. So if, you know, one of them's dirty, if I do like a bold look, I'll just go in with the other one. So I really do use these kind of for the same purpose. Another crease brush that I love is the e.l.f. blending brush. This is a newer brush for me, whereas the other ones I've had them for a very long time. I like to use this one in my crease to kind of go in more precisely than I would with these 2 fluffy brushes. I'll use this kind of put a darker, more precise color in that crease area. And this is nice and fluffy, but it's not round, like it's flat. Like that. And then, so it's easier to get in more precisely. Another e.l.f. brush, I don't know if you can see a theme going on here, is the e.l.f. contour brush, which I'm really not sure why it's called a contour brush because it's teeny tiny, like contouring your eyes maybe, but yeah, that'd take a long time to contour with this brush. What I use this brush for is my outer corner to put a kind of darker shade. I'll kind of stamp this and then start blending it into my crease. This is pretty dense, so it can really pack on a darker color if that's what you're looking for. So that was the e.l.f. contour brush. And then to pack color all over my lid, I use this brush from Wet n Wild. This is just a flat packing brush. I love that they have the pink on the end. I think it's so cute. So this one is very stiff, and I will use this all over my lid to put the color on there. And it's nice because you can really pack it on there because it is so dense. So that's what I use that brush for. And then for underneath my eyes, I use the e.l.f. Professional Eye Crease Brush. This is one of the white ones, so it's even cheaper than the black ferrule ones. And this is just a teeny tiny pencil brush. It's pretty flexible, as you can see. So I'll just kind of, it's easy to blend underneath the eyes. And then in that same kind of line, I use the e.l.f. Flat Eyeliner Brush, which has a hair on it, to kind of stamp like a black or a dark brown right underneath my lash line. So these are pretty much the two brushes that I use under my eye all the time. And then the last brush that I want to talk about is the e.l.f. Small Angled Brush. It's so teeny tiny, and what I use this for is my eyebrows because I use the Dip Brow Pomade. So this is teeny tiny enough that I can really shape out my brows. So I love this brush for that. I used to use it for winged eyeliner, but now I don't really use like a gel eyeliner. I pretty much go in with liquid or pencil, something like that. So I use this every single day for my eyebrows, and I love it. I love it, I love it. So that was the e.l.f. Small Angled Brush. Alright, so that completes this video. Those were all of my brushes and makeup tools from the drugstore that I love to use pretty much on a daily basis. I really wanted to include my all-time favorite brushes that I use every single day, or that I use every single time when I'm going for a specific look, something like that. So yeah, I think that the drugstore really has stepped up their brush game. They come out with some really high quality brushes, especially for the price. I mean, they're fluffy, they're dense, and they're really high quality. I do love them. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video and that you're having a great day or night wherever you are, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!